Dixon, to be back in this building 30 years later, this cup to your right, I mean, what are the memories that are coming back?
Well, lots. I mean, I haven't been back since the day after the parade ended in 1996. So it was really exciting. Wayne and I were driving in this morning and talking about our run and all those things, and brought back a lot of memories. And then driving into town, I'm like, this city is a lot bigger than I thought it was, and I remember it being. And so it's really cool. And being back in the building, even though it has changed since when we played here, there certainly are those memories there, and walking out and looking at the ice and remembering all the amazing times we had, the ups and downs that we had that year, they come back pretty quick.
Changed for a team that at Christmas I think was last in the division and then found themselves winning a cup.
Well, I've been asked that question before, and it's a tough answer, but the long and short of it is, in the American Hockey League, in the first couple of months of every season, what you have to remember is there's nobody that wants to be there. This isn't the goal for professional hockey players, is to end up in the American League after NHL training camp and those things. And then you settle in pretty quick and you look at each other and go, well, we're here, let's do something about it. And it took us some time, and we had a lot of different roster changes early in the year and goaltending changes and all those things. And then when we came back after Christmas and went on that run that we went on, and Steve Shields got on his run and goal, which was really important, and we had a solidified group which allowed us to come together and very consistent down the stretch. And then we just said, well, we're going to be here for the long haul, so we might as well win it all, and that's what happened.
Teams are each unique in their own way. What made that team unique? There are a lot of big veterans, but I mean there were obviously guys like Wayne Primo and Steve Shields was maybe second year. But what made that team unique, I guess?
Well, what made it unique, but not surprising, is the best teams have a really strong mix of character and skill. That's never changed. It's the same as it is today. We had a tremendous amount of character, and then we added skill as the year went on. Right, so obviously with Brian Holzinger and Barry Moore and Dane Jackson and those guys, Dane would lead with character, but he had more skill than people gave him credit for. Terry Hollinger on the back end was an unbelievable American League defenseman that led the way for us, and obviously Steve Shields in net. But then when the young guys came in at the end of the season, Wayne Primo, Brownie, and they came in, Vaclav Varada, who didn't play, but he's part of the whole process. It surrounded guys like Scott Metcalf and Dan Frawley and Scotty Nickel, who were the heart and soul and the character of this organization at the time. And you had the power play abilities that we ended up having and the scoring abilities. We were going to be tough to beat, and we got on a run. But the character of the group was by far the best I ever played on. Before that and since then.
So you had a really good rookie year with the Canucks, and then you moved around a little bit. You didn't have the same success. Can you explain, I guess maybe what happened after that rookie year, and the opportunity just joining the Buffalo organization, playing here fully, you're having a huge season, what that did for your career?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, I had a great rookie season in Vancouver, scored 22 goals as a rookie, came back in my second year, and I was on the fifth line.
Do you know why?
They play forward.
Because young guys weren't, especially not a high draft pick. I wasn't getting any love. You had to re-earn it, right? And in Vancouver, and Pat Quinn, I love the guy. He's one of the greatest coaches and one of my greatest mentors of all time. But I wasn't getting any free passes, and I may have came in, thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't. They had an opportunity. Vancouver or LA was trying to trade for me at the end of my first season. Finally, by Christmas, they made the trade. I went into a mess in LA, didn't get a regular spot, and you have to find your way back. So. Ended up going to Toronto, didn't play there, came here as a free agent. Had a great training camp with the Sabres, led the training camp in scoring, got sent down before the first game, and had two choices. I either figure it out or I don't ever make it back. So remember sitting down with John Tortorella and say, well, John, they're obviously not going to use me in the NHL as a top 6 guy and as a power play guy. Can you teach me how to kill penalties and play defensive hockey? And he said, of course I will, and that's what changed my career. And John Tortorella was a big part of that year here, proving that I could still obviously score goals. I went up to Buffalo and scored 20 again. But it's all about timing and luck and sticking with it and being in the right spot, right? And every fit's different. And the course of your career, it's just putting yourself in a position where you get more opportunity. And that's what I learned through the whole process is keep going until somebody gives you a chance.
Best decision of your career to sign here?
In hindsight, for sure, absolutely. I mean, I love my time in Rochester, and winning the Calder Cup is still the most exciting time I've ever had in the game, including the Stanley Cup final. We didn't win it, so it comes second. So, anytime you can play the game that you love and have success playing it and be a big contributor to your hockey team, it's exciting. Doesn't matter what level you're at. That's all you want as a hockey player, is to be able to contribute.
Do you look back, I mean, or not look back, but I mean, do you glance, see how, Rochester's doing now, and you pay any attention? Or
Every once in a while I do. My son played in the American League the last few years out on the West Coast, and so I would keep track of the American League, see how Rochester's doing. Some of his former college teammates have been through here, so I check up on them and see how things are going. But it's good to see whether they're having a good year or a bad year here. The city embraces this organization, it always has, and that's what makes this one of, or if not the best American League market there is.
Your second kind of kick at the NHL in Buffalo. I mean, you were a mainstay those 4 years, some really good teams. By that time, what had you grown in? Because, I mean, you hit 20 goals again, but you were probably, obviously, a much better player than you were with Vancouver or whatever.
I was a more well-rounded player, so I found a niche, and Lindy Ruff and Ted Nolan, the coaches in Buffalo, played me in a role and defined my role very clearly, and I was lucky enough that I played 4 years with Michael Pekka and killing penalties and checking line, and we also had the ability to score goals. So it's just a comfort zone for any player that feels confident in the role that they're given. It's a lot easier to focus on what you're supposed to go out and execute every day, and in Buffalo that was the case for me. Is I knew what was expected of me every time I showed up at the rink, and every game that I played, I knew what they wanted from me, and that's easy to prepare for. And we had good, solid teams, and again, we had an amazing group of guys there throughout the years, and great coaching. So it was a really good fit for me.
Dixon, when you look back, obviously, Calder came in with you that year, set a couple records. What was working for you as you look back, respectively, for not just the Calder Cup final, but that entire run, playoff run?
Well, it's just confidence, and when the coach and your teammates have confidence in you to go out there and play free, and make sure that you take care of your own responsibilities. But I knew what my role is on this team at that time, and that was to lead offensively. And Craig Sharon was another guy. We knew exactly, when we get on the power play, we better score. And when we get down a goal and the team needs a goal, they're going to be looking at us. So we knew what was expected of us, and I knew that I had the ability to put up good numbers in the American Hockey League, and I had done it in the NHL prior. So it's just a matter of, the Torts gave us free rein to go out there and do what we needed to do as long as we were doing our responsibilities on the other side of the puck. And so it was so much fun going out there every day, knowing you're going to play a lot, knowing you're going to be in offensive situations, and knowing you were counted on. And fortunate enough that I had great line mates and great teammates that supported us along the way, and it was a great run and a lot of fun.
We have to